everyone.
Hey everybody.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Mark.
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark.
Oh yes it is.
Welcome to part 2 of America's Most Haunted.
Oh yes, and if you missed part 1, you have to go check it out. We went to a haunted graveyard right here in Scranton. We also went to Chicago and Madison, Wisconsin, and today we're gonna pick up right where we left off. But the weather really isn't cooperating with us. It's pouring out. So I don't know how much actual out and about footage we can do, but we can take pictures. Our first stop today is 1217 Marion Street here in Scranton. This 113-year-old home was actually listed for sale with the description slightly haunted, and it made national news. The owners say they experienced banging doors and knocks and strange noises from the basement, footsteps, and a ghostly face that appears in the second floor bathroom. All of the owners, however, say they felt a constant, eerie feeling of someone standing right behind them. Spooky for sure. Pretty cool, huh? You know what? While we're on our way to our next place, why don't we take a trip to Columbus, Ohio, where your fellow viewer James, well, he takes us to a pretty creepy place. Here, check it out.
Hi, I'm Artega.
And I'm James.
And SmokeySteveAndMarc asked us to do a video on haunted places. We just moved here to Columbus from Chicago.
Yeah, and I'm actually from Ohio myself.
And I'm originally from Texas, Dallas. So we are here to talk about strange and spooky places in Ohio. O-H-I-O! Go Bulldogs!
Buckeyes.
Columbus, Ohio, also known for its university, Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes! It is no surprise that Ohio State has haunted places, as most universities have them. It is known that at Ohio State, in the Oval, there is a widow called Lady of the Lake, and she is heard screaming and rippling through the water during the night and in the early mornings. There was also a student who drowned in the 1960s. He is heard screaming and can be heard flapping in the water. And lastly is the runner who was killed nearby. He is heard looking over his shoulder, and there is a cold breeze that you use when passing by. Creepy.
I'm here to tell you about the Harrison House. When Artega and I moved here, we checked out the Victorian Village because I love Victorian houses. There's actually a current bed and breakfast located in the area. For right now, it's temporarily closed down because it's under new management, but it's said to be extremely haunted. Many of the guests who have stayed there have claimed they've seen doors opening, bodies laying in beds without the bodies, ghosts smoking cigarettes. That's wildly inconvenient. And shaking tables. Maybe the reason why it's under new management is because it's a portal to hell.
Another famous haunted place in Columbus, Ohio was a restaurant / bar and pool place called Bott's Brothers Billiard and Buffet. But they changed the names to The Clock. Let me tell you why. Okay, so one evening, they have a regular guest named the Colonel. The Colonel was a regular womanizer, every type of sleazy guy you see at a bar always trying to pick up ladies. Yeah. On this one particular night, as he was leaving the establishment, a woman in rage stabs him. And as he tried to make his way back into the building, he died exactly at 10:05. and the clock stops at 10:05. And it is heard at 10:05. You can see him and the lady who is enraged.
The Ohio Art Center is a huge part of Columbus's history, where people gather around to see the musical and visual arts. But what was it before it was an art center? It was actually Ohio's penitentiary, with the gallows just around the corner. Even to this day, they see that hanged men travel the grounds inside and outside the facility. Isn't that just creepy?
I don't know about you, but I'm getting like a creepy vibe. Ooh.
Right? I don't know if you know this, but Ohio, you might think of it as a small little Midwest state, but we are actually home to the most presidents of the United States,
Wow.
Miss Americas, and serial killers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why do we move here?
Thank you, James, and thank you, Artega. That was awesome. And so spooky, too. So as we drive down Lackawanna Avenue in downtown Scranton, we were wondering, are you aware of any haunted places in your hometown? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. We all would love to hear about it. You know, abandoned buildings and condemned homes aren't the only place you can see something otherworldly. Sometimes hauntings happen in very public and currently used places, like our next stop, the Radisson Hotel. Radisson Lackawanna Station Hotel wasn't always a hotel. It was once a train station, much of which has been preserved today, and it's haunted. Rattling sconces on the walls, ghostly apparitions, and sudden drops in temperatures. Oh, yes, and many stories of things going bump in the night. There was once even a morgue in the hotel, and if you're lucky enough, you may just still find it today. So, how cool was that, huh?
Mhm.
It's a beautiful building. I love the Radisson.
I
It's
know it
so
is.
beautiful
Oh.
inside.
My God.
I remember I applied there when I first moved here.
Yeah.
Didn't get hired, but
We have work lunches there sometimes. I guess on a good year. So good.
Yeah.
The food is so good, too.
oh, I agree, totally. Well, we are right in the heart of downtown, and we're about to show you another spooky place here in Scranton, and that is Courthouse Square. So we're here at Courthouse Square in downtown Scranton, supposedly one of the most haunted spaces in all of Scranton. There are stories of an apparition of a lady in white who roams the grounds and even inside the building. Now, we're not going to go inside because it's closed right now, but we're going to take a walk around the grounds and see if we can spot anything. Come on, let's go. So right behind me is the City Market Cafe and Grill. Now originally this building was known as Farley's, a really popular hotspot right here in Scranton. And it has its own haunted past. Jason Miller was the man behind the character of Father Damien Karras in the hit movie The Exorcist. Miller had a heart attack in Farley's and later was pronounced dead at Mercy Hospital. His ghost was said to haunt the pub until its closing day, and now a bronze bust of Miller stands right in Courthouse Square for everybody to see. That was Courthouse Square, so I think it's about time to go home. Yeah, I agree. Oh, well, we are back.
Well, a little chilly outside.
It's so cold. Oh my goodness. It got cold very fast here.
All it did was rain for a day and a half, and then kaboom.
I know.
40
I
degrees.
apologize that the weather didn't cooperate too well, but we still had a really good time, though.
Yeah, we did. Cold socks, warm heart.
Yeah.
It was a nice time. Yeah,
Cold socks,
traveling
warm
around.
heart, I love it.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, I was thinking, why don't we go to the West Coast?
Oh, okay.
I think it's warmer there.
Usually.
Although I'm not sure much warmer where we're going.
The Pacific Northwest.
Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
So are you fans of spooky tales from the sea like I am? Oh, I am. Then you are going to be so intrigued by the Sillet Bay Schooner Ship. Oh, yeah. And this is in Lincoln City, Oregon. The story says that 150 years ago, the Sillet Bay Schooner ship just drifted into the bay, right? Now, today, it's just a ghost ship being seen sometimes drifting back into the bay and then just disappearing into thin air.
That's bizarre.
Ooh, creepy.
That is creepy.
Mm-hmm. And also, local Native American legend tells of an octopus-like creature that dwells in nearby Devil's Lake.
I love me a good lake monster.
Oh, I do too. Just love it.
I do.
Very cool, huh? Yeah, well, you totally dig. What's his name?
Oh, Lake Champlain.
That's
Champ?
it.
The Loch
Champ.
Ness monster.
That's it, Champ.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I
all
love
over
some
it.
sea creatures and ghost ships and things like that. I love that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Totally.
Actually, I hear you have a place you want to take us to.
I do. We're going to be staying on the eastern coast, sort of. We are going to go to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Well, this half of the country, anyway.
Yeah.
So, John Carpenter from Halloween.
Yeah,
Y'all
the
know
director
Halloween,
of
right?
the Halloween movies.
Okay,
yeah.
he once called Bowling Green, Kentucky, home.
Oh.
So there's a lot to do in this place. You know, when you're from somewhere, they make a big deal of it. Like
Oh,
Scranton
yeah.
in The Office, it's kind of like that in Bowling Green, so you're going to have to check it out.
Oh, cool.
Halloween filmmaker John Carpenter once called Bowling Green his home, and the John Carpenter Driving Tour explores streets and locations mentioned in his famous films. For thrills and action, visit Skelton's Lair Scream Park for a haunted hayride and trips through the Skeletal Visions 3D Zone and the Doomsday Doll Factory Haunted House.
Oh, man, that is totally right up my alley. I would
know.
love to do that tour.
I know. Even if you're not into ghosties so much, it's just scary.
Yeah.
It's just scary, at least if you're Steve. So,
I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter, too.
Yeah.
I love his movies. Oh, my gosh. The Fog was one of my favorites. Oh, I just love his movies. I really do.
yeah.
And so maybe we can check it out. We actually were in Bowling Green, and it's kind of a funny story.
Yeah, you miss one turn driving through Kentucky,
Yeah.
and it's 50 miles to the next place to turn around.
Yeah.
And you really can't make a U-turn on whatever interstate we were
No,
on.
we were on an interstate, and I think I was driving, and I missed the one exit.
And the one turnaround for the next
Yeah.
55 miles.
And I was like, well, we'll just get off at the next exit and turn around. It took us
Bowling Green
so
was the next
long,
exit.
and Bowling Green was the next exit. But we made it back safely.
We did. We lived.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I liked it.
So what do you think so far? You have a good time? Get to see some spooky places across America with us?
Mhm.
I am. I'm totally loving it. And guess what? We have a little surprise. Our dear friend Mare is making a return appearance tonight.
She is.
Mm-hmm. And not only is she going to take us to somewhere spooky, but we're going out of the country this time. She's taking us all the way to Japan.
Hey, Steven and Mark and Smokies. We're coming from my office today. So I was talking to Mark and I told him that no haunted or spooky video about scary places would be complete without talking about ghosts in Japan. So I have a little information for you today about one of the most haunted places in Japan. It's called the Round Schoolhouse. In the northern reaches of Japan is the nation's second largest island, Hokkaido. In the rural town of Bibai is a creepy ruin of a former schoolhouse that has gained a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Japan. Built in 1906, the building has a circular design which earned it its nickname, the Round Schoolhouse. From the 1940s up until the 1970s, it was used as a school, after which it was closed down for unknown reasons. The building seems to have been left as it was on the day it was abandoned, with tables and desks collecting dust. The grounds of the property have become a thick tangle of overgrown brush. The playground is buried in forest growth, and any roads have long been grown over. The only way to reach the school now is on foot. Locals claim that the surrounding woods are haunted by bobbing, mysterious lights and half-glimpsed shadowy figures, and the night is often pierced by screams as well as other less discernible noises. Additionally, there are rumors of several children who went out to play in the woods but never returned. It didn't take long for these rumors to be linked to the abandoned building. During the late 70s and the 80s, the Round Schoolhouse became a popular place to go to try to see ghosts. Trespassers to the site would return with terrifying tales of all sorts of supernatural events in and around the property. Paranormal investigators who have been there consistently put this location in top 10 lists of Japan's most haunted places. And there have been Japanese spirit mediums who have been so overwhelmed with negative spiritual energy here that they refuse to go back. More sinister rumors tell of people going off to explore the ruins only to disappear without a trace, and stories abound of abandoned cars found on the nearby roads, their occupants said to have gone off towards the schoolhouse to never return. Perhaps worse yet are those said to have come back completely insane, driven over the brink of madness by whatever it was they had seen. In 1998, 3 curiosity seekers went off to investigate the ruin and seemed to have gotten more than they bargained for. They parked their car and began their trek through the forest and its tangle of trees towards the main building. Once they were almost immediately overcome there by a clinging, unsettling cold, and they sensed that they were being watched from the shadows by something that seemed to creep along following them. This was followed by a series of escalating paranormal experiences, items being knocked over, doors slamming shut, and the startled shout of one of the group when he was shoved by some invisible entity. The longer they stayed, the more the intensity of these events increased, until they got to the point where they had seen enough and made their way back outside. As they did, a black form congealed out of the shadows and followed them. A stranger account seems to suggest that there is some sort of vortex or interdimensional doorway within the Round Schoolhouse. This apparently happened as recently as 2000 and again involves a couple of amateur paranormal investigators drawn to this location, all by the mysterious tales and creepy stories. Perhaps it was their mistake to come here in the evening hours, but whatever the reason, they certainly came across something rather outlandish in that building. Even as they made their way through the forest towards the schoolhouse, they heard strange sounds coming from the trees. Sounds like someone banging on a tree with a stick, someone snapping twigs, and what one of the witnesses swore was the sound of giggling. When they reached the building, disembodied footsteps seemed to echo out all around them. But when they reached one room, they came across a faintly glowing opening in the wall, which supposedly shimmered and rippled. Was this some sort of portal? Was it an illusion? It does seem to fit into the idea that this is a site that harbors some sort of doorway through dimensions, and that all of this is not a haunting, but rather a crossover of another realm into our reality. Happy haunting!
You know, the things you don't know.
I know, right?
The things you think you know. You don't even know what you don't know. That was fascinating.
It
I love
was.
that.
Thanks so much
Thank
for
you,
coming
Mare.
back, Mare. That was awesome. A lot of people might know. I mean, Mare is actually from Japan, so that's how she has all this inside information, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. Oh, I don't know about you, but I'm pooped.
I am wrecked. I am so.
I wonder how many mouths we racked up in the last 2 days.
I don't know. It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
It has been, but it was a lot of fun.
And
we
we've
hope
had
you
help,
enjoyed it.
too.
Yeah, we did have a lot of help. Oh yeah, definitely. Thank you to everybody who contributed to this video. That would be Mare and Jay and James. Thank you. Really, I really mean it. It was a lot of fun, and you really helped us out a lot.
Definitely.
Well, should we call that an evening?
I say we call it an evening.
All right.
I'm losing the ability
to do anything.
What? I lost my space. I was the one who thought of it. At any rate.
At any rate. That's a perfect little statement there for like any time. Like whenever I get tied up in a video, at any rate,
yeah.
Or however.
I digress.
Or I digress.
I
or
diverge.
I'm like famous for saying, wasn't that cool? Cool. I loved it. Cool. I loved.
Yeah.
Oh man, I have to work on that. Let me tell you. Like now, see, like, okay, I'm like, okay, so what do we say next? So I would normally say, cool.
Normally it would be like, oh, thank you for watching, but
yeah.
this is an investment of your time and ours.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching.
Definitely.
Thank you very much.
so much for watching.
Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell on your way out to get alerts when we have new videos and when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Email address and contact info is listed below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you soon.
Oh, yes, we will. And we still have a lot more coming. Oh, yes. Even though Halloween is right around the corner. I mean, gosh, we have so much to do still. Steve is going to take us into the kitchen.
Yes, we will be cooking.
We'll be cooking with Steve.
I will
tomorrow.
be cooking. So
oh yeah. And then we have our costume show, of course, right? We have another project or two. You never know. And then we have a really, really fun Halloween finale for you on Halloween Day. So anyway, that's a good place to end. Thank you again, everybody, for spending your time with us. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.